cover after you buy a 1.5. Appreciate all of you joining us on Twitter Spaces. Of course, give us a follow at Fumble Sports on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, and at Sports Fumble on Twitter. Let's now move to Sunday Night Football, an interesting game between a couple of quarterbacks who were drafted within one position of each other. That is Tua Tagovailoa and Justin Herbert, as the 8-4 Miami Dolphins play the 6-6 Los Angeles Chargers on NBC. Where I see it, the Dolphins are a 3-point favorite, and the over-under set at 52.5 points. Some gambling trends before we give you analysis. The Dolphins are 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 road games, while the home team is 7-3 against the spread in the last 10 meetings between the Dolphins and Chargers. The under is 12-2 in the last 14 meetings between the two teams, but the over is 4-0 in the Dolphins' last 4 road games, and the over is 7-2 in the Chargers' last 9 home games. Adam, what are your thoughts on this game? A lot of AFC playoff picture implications on the line. Who wins this game between the Dolphins and Chargers?
I have never been back and forth on the game, I don't think, in 2 years, and I have in this one. This is just going to be a great matchup, and I can make a case for both sides of the fence in this one. So Tua is going to play, and he was questionable earlier in the week, but he will play. Armstead, his tackle, is still questionable. Jalen Waddle is now off the injury list, so we should have a whole complement of offensive weapons for Miami, and that's bad news for this Chargers defense. Devontae Adams torched them for 179 yards and 2 touchdowns last week, and it's even going to get worse. 3 starters are out on the Chargers defense, including safety Derwin James. So to me, that is huge. The other thing I look in this game is the Chargers offensive line has been absolutely terrible. They gave up 5 sacks last week. Corey Linsley will be back today, so that will help shore up that offensive line, as well as Williams, wide receiver, to help. But going back to this offensive line, the last 4 games, they've given up 16 sacks. 16 sacks in the last 4 games. That's absolutely atrocious. And Miami's last 3 games are averaging 4 sacks a game. That's 3rd in the league. So I think this game just comes down to Miami putting pressure on the Chargers. I love to take the Chargers in this game, but I just can't with everything that I've mentioned with the injuries and the way Miami can move the football through the air. I think this is going to be a tough task. So I like Miami with the money line in this one. If you can buy it down to 2.5, I'd have a slight lean on that one. And as far as the over-under, it opened at 50.5, and it's skyrocketed now to 54.5 and 55 in some places. So that is a lot of money on the over, and rightfully so. Obviously, both teams can score at will. So I'm going to lay off the over-under on this one, but I would take Miami with the money line and bet it down under 2.5. It's just back and forth on this one. Like I said, I can make a case for both sides, but just his injuries and the offensive line of the Chargers is just too much for me to overlook in this game.
Interesting. Adam and I are looking at this in a similar way, but from opposite ends. So I look at the Dolphins' offensive line, and I see how banged up they are at the tackle position. You saw how vulnerable Tua Tagovailoa was last week against the 49ers. I'm not going to claim that the Chargers' defense is nearly even in the same category of being good as the 49ers, but I see some reason to be slightly concerned about the Miami Dolphins. Meanwhile, on the other side, I'm seeing the Chargers getting healthier at wide receiver. When Mike Williams and Keenan Allen are on the field together, Justin Herbert in this offense is just better. They're different. They're superior than what people think. So my expectations for this one have kind of hinged on what the injury report is throughout the week. That said, I do like Miami on the money line simply because I think they're a more talented roster overall. I think this is an important game for them. So I do like Miami on the money line, but where Adam was kind of on the fence, I'm going to be a bit more definitive. I do like the Chargers to cover after I buy the 1.5. So the Butt Fumble Sports pick for this one is Miami on the money line and the Chargers to cover 4.5 after you buy a 1.5. Appreciate all of you joining us as we go through NFL Week 14. Had a lot of fun so far just answering all of your questions. We will now get to some best bets for the day. I'll leave Monday Night Football to tomorrow. We'll have our own show for that one. Hope you join us for that. That said, my best bets of the day go to 2 games from the 1 p.m. window. I like the Steelers minus 1.5. I'm getting that at minus 110. And I'm getting Jets plus 11.5. That's getting minus 145 odds. I'm buying the 1.5 on that one. So again, the Butt Fumble Sports best bets of the day are Steelers minus 1.5 and the Jets plus 11.5 after you buy a 1.5. And just to be candid, our best bets record is 18-9 on the season, though we've had a couple weeks in a row of 1-1 showings. So hopefully we can get a 2-0 day for you. Adam, I know I'm putting you a bit on the spot, but what's your best bet of the day?
Well, I have 3 that I like equally the same. and I'd buy the points up in each one of them. And that would be Cleveland, the Jets, and Minnesota. I think those are my three favorite plays of the day. But make sure you buy those points up, especially the Jets. Get that over 10. Get Minnesota over 3.5, and Cleveland at 7 to 7.5.
Appreciate all of you joining us on YouTube as we take you through NFL Week 14. Before we sign off, I will hand out some player prop bets as well, just in case you miss any of our action. I like Josh Allen over half an interception. I'm getting that at minus 130. I like Joe Burrow throwing an interception. I'm getting that at minus 115. A Nick Chubb anytime touchdown. You're getting that at even money right now. Love that play. That's been cashing throughout the year. Kirk Cousins over 1.5 passing touchdowns. I'm getting that at minus 130. Ezekiel Elliott anytime touchdown. I'm getting that at minus 148. Jared Goff over 1.5 passing touchdowns. I'm getting that at minus 145. Najee Harris under 55.5 rushing yards. That goes off at 115. And Derrick Henry over 106.5 rushing and receiving yards combined. I'm getting that at minus 115. I know this is one of our faster shows of the year so far, but I appreciate everyone joining us. Of course, Adam giving some outstanding analysis. If you're not following Adam, I don't know what you're doing with your life. Check out his Twitter at SpotterAJ. That's at SPOTTERAJ. Puts out some great analysis, knows his stuff. Definitely give him a follow. And of course, give us a follow. But Fumble Sports, a new sports content company. Follow us on Twitter at SportsFumble and on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at ButtFumble Sports. That's all we're going to do in this Twitter space. Go shoot over to TikTok Live as we're going to be answering fantasy football questions right up until 1 p.m. kickoff. If you're watching us on YouTube, don't worry. We're going to come right back in just a second, so continue to watch our channel at ButtFumble Sports. Appreciate all of you joining us this morning. Good luck in your bets today. And of course, again, follow us at ButtFumble Sports on TikTok Live and on YouTube. Look forward to talking to you on Monday Night Football. We'll probably be back 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Monday night to pregame that Arizona Cardinals-Patriots game. But that said, good luck in your bets this week. Hope you all get cash tickets.
Look at the so-called